Hello and welcome back. It's been a while since we last saw you, 4 months I think since our last video, but true to our word, we are back and giving you updates as and when we can. So hello. Since our last update, quite a few things have happened. We've been at the boat quite a lot, however, life tends to get in the way every now and again. Yeah, Mum forgot about the MOT test and our previous car ended up failing on welding. So we were off the road for a bit. Several £1,000s and a brand new car later, and we are back on the road. That blip obviously cost and affected my job and Mum's business and our ability to come to the boat as well. So that was a bit stressful, but we're back on the road now and we're able to come back to the boat, and thankfully this car, the boot actually opens up, which is great. Hopefully this car lasts a bit longer than the other one did and doesn't break down. Fingers crossed. We also lost footage as well. Somehow an SD card of ours corrupted itself. We have absolutely no idea how. But we lost some footage, so there will be a small blip in the footage that we're going to show you. That's a lot of footage in one sentence. But we will definitely keep you, what's the word I want? Work with me brain. We will definitely still walk you through everything that's happened and what we've done, regardless of the footage blip that we had. Yeah, there's been a few storms as well. I think some of the recent ones, like Storm Dara and Storm Eowyn, they reached like 100-mile-an-hour winds, so we obviously couldn't work in that. They were interesting, but we couldn't work in them. We've also been helping our friend as well with building his boat, Scooby Soo, which I introduced in the last video. Obviously working on a different boat means we can't work on Firefly simultaneously, so we like helping, but it tends to take away from Firefly a little bit. And obviously health is always interesting, always throws up errors and things, so that's also happened. Besides all of that nonsense though, every other week that we've been able to, we've been at Firefly working on her. I don't think there's a single month that we've not been at Firefly one way or another working on her. It's been a very busy winter. Working on her in the snow and in winds, not 100-mile-an-hour winds granted, but winds. And rain, so much rain. Thankfully, working on the inside of the boat like we have been recently, we've been able to work on her in the rain, which has been beautiful to sit at the door and just watch it pour it down while we're completely dry, because the inside of the boat's dry. It's dry. It's not leaking. There is actually a storm going on now, which I'm sure you'll be able to hear and see. Only 60-mile-an-hour winds, but it has halted progress on the boat this week. Enough moaning though. It's time for you to watch all of the progress we've had so far while I get ready to go and show you what the inside of her currently looks like. I'll see you in a minute or 6.
But I don't think I'm ever getting past you. All day, I'll stay. You and me a beautiful disaster. Always fighting till we go insane. Fuck all night until we don't feel pain. All day, I'll stay. You and me a beautiful disaster. I know why your mind is so dishonest. I see you and I fucked up like before. I'm surprised the 45 is loaded. You're really trying to blow my brain tonight. Fucked up on a Saturday, no Friday night. Sex don't feel like love. I know that there's better days. The memories are gone, it's a beautiful disaster. Can't take heartache, but I don't think I'm ever getting past you. All day,
looking pretty with no makeup. Let me take you to the city before we break up. One more night, girl, we won't fight. I just want a little break from the hard times. Every day you gave me a flat run. You would say it's always a bad time. Anyway, it's just like the last time.
Back at the boat, it's, I think, roughly in the minuses now, cold-wise. The snow on the mountains for the first time this year, which is just over there. It was quite beautiful driving with them in the background. We're going to continue tackling, hopefully getting the last parts of the boat sealed. We're going to check the anchor locker and the gas locker in a minute, and if they're okay, we can get on with finishing and perfecting the door, and then hopefully the runners, and then she's sealed.
Left uncovered. I'm thinking about 4-leaf clovers. I've got composure. Silver coin, you hold me, turn me over right now, but expect to forget about it. Watches the breeze, burns golden smoke that you've stolen. Feels like it's my fortune that you're holding. Survival, I'm on fire, waiting your arrival.
is now, sorry for the clunking that you can hear under my feet. I'm using a makeshift board as a floor. We painted the floor in Belgian locker paint, Hempel specifically, but it's still a bit wet. It's not dried yet, even though we painted it a few days ago. It needs redoing, I think. It's not as great as I'd like it to be, but I'm using this makeshift board, so if you can hear clunking, that's what it is. Right, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to work my way round clockwise in the saloon, and then I'll show you the head and the v-berth. So, here is our little cubby. We are going to turn this into a spare parts slash tools area. So all of the spare parts, tools and things are going to go in there. We also figured out that that massive hole there leads to the cockpit locker. We want to obviously block that off completely because there's literally nothing blocking, which is probably where most of the draft's coming from. We've decided we want the diesel heater in the cockpit locker, and obviously carbon monoxide is not ideal, so that needs to definitely be blocked off. But then this whole area here needs to be boarded off as well. We have the template for that in a bunch of the pieces of wood that I'm sure you'll see in a minute. Spare pieces of wood, sorry. We've got a template for that, so that shouldn't be difficult to redo. And yeah, that's going to be turned into a little cupboard. And it's going to be beautiful and brilliant. And I'm going to just sit down here while I come round and show you this. It's a bit hard to get all of it in. There we go, that's a better shot. Right, this is the main seating area slash Jacob's berth. It's 6'5" long, which will definitely accommodate my 6'3" tall brother. These areas here are going to be used as extra storage space. So each one of these, it's all going to be boarded up and panelled up. But each one of these is going to be its own locker. So all of these will lift up in their own right. So they'll just lift up like that. And then moving upwards, these three sections, those will be boarded off completely. I don't think we have any plans to turn those into any shelving or anything. Those are just going to be boarded up, especially considering we want cushions and things as well for the back, because it is obviously seating as well. And there will be cushions on the bottom here as well, just I didn't mention that. But it's kind of important for it to be a bed and this chair. And moving upwards here, we've got these areas, these three sections. And in order, cupboard, shelving, cupboard. Those will be blocked off, but they'll be accessible, they'll be hinged. So those will be cupboards on either side. And then that is going to be an open shelf, which we get to put really pretty plants on and things, maybe books. And then here, we've got this open section here. That is going to be hinged as well. It's going to be a really, really long piece of wood that's going to all be hinged downwards, because underneath there is all of the bolts for the stanchions and everything like that we ideally want to be able to get to. It'll be hidden from normal view, but will be accessible if we do need to get to it, which is ideal. And then the windows, which the camera is having a hard time focusing on because it's bright in here. The windows weren't done particularly well. They were done with, I think, wood that was way too porous for it. I mean, we've had issues in the past with it leaking and things like that, so we've fiberglassed it up, sanded it down, fiberglassed it up, sanded it down like 2 or 3 times, and then painted it. So it's actually really nice and smooth now. It's really beautiful. We are having difficulty deciding whether we want to tint the windows or add curtains, but whichever one we end up doing, we do still need to find a way to get the, not fiberglass, we need to find a way to get the perspex back up to scratch, because it has been scratched a lot. It's not in great condition. It's fine, but you can see scratches, and we want to be able to make sure it's pretty and nice, and we would ideally like to not replace it. There are still things we need to do on the outside of the window frame to make sure that it's all sealed outside and things, but for now it's working a lot better. if anybody has any like ideas or ways to get perspex back up to grade, I would really appreciate if anybody had any advice, because we have absolutely no idea. And we always like hearing your guys' opinions and thoughts. So, moving over to this massive white wall that we've got. It's huge. I'll just angle down. Oh. So, if I just sit down again to try and give you a better view. We have this big white wall, and we have talked about in the past having a foldable table, which will be hinged about there, because obviously it's going to be a table, but it'll be folded up most of the time. We'll have to keep a spare table leg somewhere, probably in one of these lockers here, but there will be a table folded down, but we want to do something with the big wall. The camera is having a lot of trouble focusing on all this white. We want to do something with the big wall. So, we have two ideas, and we want your guys' input on which one you think is cooler or more effective, or you think would be better to have in the boat. Because we're in Wales, the first idea, obviously because we have the best flag in the world, is to just put a giant half dragon there. Just half dragon on the wall. The idea with that is that we would embellish it with names of people inside the dragon who've donated and who've helped actually bring this project to life. So your guys' names would be inside the dragon, visible for you guys to see. The other idea is a map of either the UK or Europe, with little dots of where we've been, where we've explored or docked or moored. It would make more sense for a boat, but we like both ideas. So definitely do, please, take to the comments and tell us which one you prefer, which one is a better idea, because we like both and we can't decide. So, I am gonna, one thing as well, these seats are really strong. While I've been talking about these seating and the wall, I've been sat on another one that I'll show you in a minute. Right, but first, I'm going to show you the galley. Right, the galley has had a lot of work done to it, and out of everything in the boat is probably the closest to being done, actually. Right, starting from up here, ignore that stuff. We had to get everything away from everything else so that we could paint and let things dry. But that there is the sink. It just needs plumbing in, and that's sorted. That wall is... Right, I'll tell you what we've done first. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm getting really excited. Sink needs plumbing in. These, every single piece of wood here, except for that one, and that one, and that one actually, has been replaced. So those three shelves are new. That paneling there is new. And yeah, I'm really happy with this galley. If you remember in earlier videos, actually, I don't know if we took it out. The camera's really struggling with all this white. I don't know if we took it out before we started recording, but we had a little drawer that kind of sits in there. We sorted that out and it sits properly now because it used to sit a little wonky. But it fits now perfectly, and it's been oiled, and the teak of it has been brought back to life, and that's really pretty, and that's ready to come back in. So that's going to go there. We have a cooker that you guys helped us decide on. I think it was a topic for quite a few videos, but we have a portable gas cooker that's going to sit there on that shelf. We're going to need to make a little shelf underneath here for the gas bottle to go. And obviously we've got the gas locker now, which is fully painted and sealed and things that we can use to store extra gas bottles, which is cool. But we also want extra counter space as well. So these pieces of wood here are going to hold a piece of wood, again with the focusing struggling, might be my hand actually, but these pieces of wood are going to hold a piece of extra wood that's going to be hinged and come down when we want extra workspace. We'll be able to move it up when we want to use the cooker, but again, we'll be able to put it down when we're not using it. which is also really cool and I'm really excited about. These shelves here, we don't know if we want to put cupboards on them or if we're just going to put dowel on them. I think we've got a few places that we want dowel as well, including the spice rack actually that Mum has spent time like modifying and staining, which was going to go on this wall over here. Think about there. That's got some fresh dowel on it that she put in herself, which is really impressive, and looks really, really good actually. But we don't know if we just want to put some dowel across there or if we want to cupboard them up. But that's that. On this wall up here, this wall here is going to be tiled. We were going to use actual tiles, but it's surprisingly hard to come across and find proper tiles to tile things up with, and proper grout and things like that. So we found some sticky pad stuff that's actually an inch thick, so it will look like actual tiling and it'll look really pretty, but it won't have the excess weight that real tiles will, and it's still gonna look good. So that's gonna be tiled up. There's gonna be a fire extinguisher right there, and obviously the spice rack, and also the spice rack that's going to go there as well. Behind here there is extra space. Dehumidifies there at the moment, again because we were trying to make space for everything to dry. But back here we've got this beautiful copper kettle that we bought recently that I am dying to go in the boat, and it's going to sit right there, pride of place. And then we've got the original cup holders that came with the boat and plate holders that will slot back in here. The cup holder has been stained to bring back, oiled, sorry, to bring back its beautiful teak colour, and the plate rack has been painted freshly as well, so that's going to look really pretty. Down there, when we bought the boat, if you remember back to earlier videos, there was a basket, a little blue basket that sat in there. We're probably going to paint that black, I think, if I remember previous discussions I've had with Mum, and put that back in there, because again, extra storage, and there's not really much room down there. You can't really reach round to use it as extra storage, so we're probably just going to basket that and yeah, use that as storage for whatever else we want to use in here. All of these things that are masked up, by the way, because I'm sure you've seen the door frame there, and they're all the teak that we wanted to save. All of the teak is going to be oiled, and everything. This is going to be oiled, that back there, this piece here, that. There's going to be trim up here, which might be end up being teak, and yeah, and this pole here, obviously, they're all going to be brought back to life. We want to make sure we protect the teak. I know there's a lot of white in here at the moment, but we do want that contrast of like the teak, especially the paneling. We're going to stain all of the paneling to make it, including this piece here, that's going to be stained. So that's going to be really, really beautiful. And then this piece of wood here, that's going to be stained as well. It's going to look really pretty. I'm really excited. Right, here is my berth. Ignore all of that over there. Again, I'm going to reiterate, we needed to create space because we've painted literally everything. This here is my berth. I'm going to sit down. Right, my berth. This, we've extended this. It's supposed to stop there, because there's supposed to be a navigation table, a fixed navigation table that comes up to there, and you can sit there and use it. But while we are going to have a navigation table, it's not going to be as long, so we'll just be able to sit there cross-legged using it whenever we want, and it'll be foldable as well, so we'll be able to put it away when we don't need it, and then that'll serve as a bunk. Up here is where we want the control panel. It's not going to come all the way down like we previously thought, or previously had the idea of. It's going to probably come down to about halfway, serve as control panel, and the rest might be bookshelves. And the more space for storage and things that we've got, the better. Yeah, this here, that compass broke, so we took it out. We've got a brand new one to put in, but obviously another panel needs to come down here as well. And then once that panel does, we'll be fitting in we'll be putting in a shelf to store charts there. And if you ignore all the mess down there, if you look down there where that paint stops, we're going to panel that off as well. We want it ideally to be removable, so we've got access back there if we need to, but that's going to be panelled off, and yeah, that's going to look great. Right, here, obviously, that's the entrance to the engine bay. We've done nothing in there yet. Probably going to be one of the last things we do. We want to make sure the rest of the boat is doable before, you know, we want to make sure that the rest of the boat is, you know, looks like a boat before we start trying to get her to move. Because the moment she's not moving anywhere, she's fine. Right, roof, really quickly. It's all painted. The camera's gonna really struggle with this. But the roof is all painted, it's all been sealed, it's all been fiberglassed, and we don't know if we want to carpet it. It's painted and it's protected, but we don't know if we want to carpet it. But what I think we have agreed on is that in the centre of the roof there's going to be a piece of wood with some recessed lights, and then we either might leave it painted as is or carpet it. We haven't fully decided what we're doing with the rest of it, but I think we have agreed on that piece of wood down the centre. Again, if you've got any advice on like carpeting or just leaving it painted, again, your opinions are always wanted and welcome. So, oh my gosh. This piece of wood is very wobbly and I keep nearly slipping. Right. Head. There are pieces of wood here because again, we had to balance them on the door frames because we had literally nowhere else to put them. However, the head has completely been gutted. There wasn't much in here to begin with, to be fair, but all of this wood here, if you remember previously, there was a panel of wood there and there was a panel of wood down. Every single piece of it, even the structural supports here, were all rotten and peeling away, and they were awful. So we gutted all of that out and we've replaced those, and we'll eventually replace the paneling. We want to replace all of these as well because some of them work, some of them are stiff, but we want to replace them all just to be safe. And these pieces of wood here, these two, we have no idea what they were for. We've kept them, but we have no idea what they're actually for. So they get to stay as some odd random feature that we couldn't figure out. We're going to redo this and remake this. It was obviously served as a cupboard at one point, so we're going to redo that. You can see the structural supports of where the bottom panel for that cupboard would have been. And I think before we painted it, we figured out that there was a sliding sink as well, which could be what that was for, but we're going to redo the sink anyway. The toilet that we took out, we haven't gotten rid of it, we've still got it. It's pretty decent, I believe. I think we figured out that it wasn't actually that bad quality. At some other point, we're gonna make sure it's actually usable, not broken, and give it a clean and reuse it. There's no point binning it. All of in here has been painted. Like literally everywhere you see has had a lick of paint. Well, everywhere white you see has had a lick of paint. Right, up here, this wardrobe, I'm gonna step back in here a little bit. This wardrobe has barely been touched. The face of it has been sanded down and painted. It looks much better than it did. We still want to use it as a wardrobe, but we want a shelf inside just about there to serve as obviously a shelf. We ripped out pieces of wood that were on the inside that were used to hold a railing. We ripped those out and we're going to redo that. We do still, I think, want to use it as an actual wardrobe. We're going to do that. We want hooks on the front. We're going to either get or make, you know, those long pieces of wood with all the hooks on that usually, like, fasten to the backs of doors in your house. We're going to use that for there. That shelf on top, that is a shelf. It was completely peeling away, so it got ripped out. I think parts of it need resealing, re-edging, but we will sort that out in due time. It's a much better shelf, it's much stronger, and it's not falling away. So, progress. Right, v-berth. I hope you all remember what the v-berth looked like. And if not, here's a reminder of what the v-berth used to look like. It was completely full of mold. It had silicone patches on each of these two walls here. Both left and right wall, both port and starboard walls of the v-berth were covered in silicone patches where the previous owner had tried to stick plastic paneling to it. And this overhead piece of teak was basically hanging from nothing. I think it's basically screwed into the boat, but it was basically floating. That's been fiberglassed in, looks much nicer now. And obviously up here, this piece of wood does not have a hole in it. It was atrocious when we got it. It's now two pieces of wood sandwiched together with a mixture of both fiberglass filler and traditional fiberglass pieces, holding it in and holding it together and keeping it watertight. The amount of fiberglass we used just on that triangle piece of wood alone is insane. And every single piece of wood in here you can see, except that one, because it's fiberglassed in so well, we couldn't get it out. Thankfully, it's a good piece of wood and it wasn't mouldy or decaying or anything. Every single piece of wood in here you can see has been gutted and repainted. Every single one. I think we have pictures, or we might have pictures of it just completely bare. Just nothing in here. Every single piece has been repainted and replaced, fiberglassed in, painted, sanded, not in that order obviously. And this section here has been built specifically to fit the water tank that we have and that will be going in at a certain point in the near future. Near future, I can say near future now. And we figured out as well, I don't know if it's been mentioned, but we figured out, if it will focus, this hatch, which obviously needs a lot more TLC to it, big gust of wind, we figured out that it was leaking in more than one area, so we've siliconed up using clear silicone, we siliconed round the glass, and we also sealed it up on the outside as well, because we figured out that the edge was leaking as well. So that does not leak at all now. We realised that that was one of the largest places after the anchor locker that was leaking and bringing water into the boat, because we kept coming back and finding water on the floor. And it's that was the culprit. It was the culprit, and now it's not. It's all dry, it's great. Right, so we obviously have a lot to do. There is still a lot of progress to be made, but we get to start adding things in, we get to start sorting out electrics, and we get to start... my brain is on fire with the amount of things that we could start doing now. We felt quite dejected every single time we had to come back and have another paint day, because, I mean, you schedule a day for work and you end up spending a week or 2 weeks doing one job, and it's really, really easy to feel dejected doing the same job over and over and over again without feeling like you're actually making any progress. But we realised that we had to strip the boat completely all the way back to its bare bones, had to reseal everything obviously because she was leaking, and have then got the chance to build her back up again. Now she is basically a canvas. All of this white represents in my head a canvas. She is now able to be fixed and sorted. I forgot to mention, in there is probably going to be painted black, because the amount of coats we had to use for the white paint was annoying. So that's probably going to be painted black, but it is going to be painted. But yeah, she is workable now. We can start doing things to her. She can actually start looking like a boat. We can start putting paneling in, and oh god, I'm so excited. That it's insane. It's incredible, and I'm so looking forward to all this teak looking beautiful again. And I love her so very, very much. And a floor. We need a floor, because this piece of wood is annoying also. Right, that was your makeshift walk around. It's hard to put into words how genuinely excited I am. I do think the v-berth could do with another coat, actually. I think quite a few places could do with another coat, but I love every single piece of her, and I am so proud with how she's coming along. and the direction we've got her in, and I can see in my head so much clearer where she's going and where we want to take her and how she's going to end up looking. I'm so excited, and I hope you can join us for the ride because it's going to be brilliant. I'll see you in the end card. Thank you for watching as always, and hopefully the next update won't be 4 months away. After all, the next bit is the fun bit. Now that she's painted and completely bare, we can start putting things in. We can start doing diesel heaters and fitting the galley out properly with cookers and tiles and spice racks, and sorting out all the electrics and hooking up the solar panel and the wind turbine and sorting out the v-berth and the head, and now we get to start actually making our boat look like a boat, and it's gonna be beautiful, and I'm really excited. If you would like to come along with us on this journey that we are so very excited to take you on, please like and subscribe, and make sure to press the little bell so YouTube still knows we're here, because we are still here, I promise. And make sure to leave a little comment as well, because we love interacting with you guys. So many of the pieces of advice you give us and just interacting with you generally, we love it so very much. If you would like to help with this project, absolutely no pressure, but there are links in the description. There is Buy Me a Coffee, there is our Amazon wish list, and there is PayPal. Like I say, reiterate, no pressure whatsoever. We love and appreciate each and every one of you, but we know some of you do like to help. It's appreciated regardless of what you can and cannot do, and we love you very much. We will see you in the next video. Bye.
No, I didn't expect you to do that.
Anytime, mother. Oh, I'm cold and I'm hungry. Ah! I'm really cold. Oh, I'm attached to everything. Sorry, hopefully the next update won't be as far away. Easy sentence. Sarcastic is not needed right now, I'm cold. Oh, right. I've got the giggles now. Sorry. Oh, calm down, calm down. Whew. Okay. Thank you for watching, as always. Brain went blank. Thank you for watching, as always. Oh my god! My ears keep popping. Okay. Outro. I'm cold, just for the record.